All right. Well, good morning. This is Michelle Gines with Purpose Publishing. And we are doing these Let's Connect sessions with some of our wonderful authors. And today I have with me Dr. Andrea Hendricks. Good morning, Andrea. How are you?
Good morning. Good. I'm doing great. Glad to be here. Thank you for hosting and bringing this to our table, our homes, our communities. So thank you for having me today.
Absolutely. Well, one of the things that I have been wanting to do, amidst this whole COVID-19 pandemic, and even as things are starting to open back up, I've been asking all of the authors, what have you been doing during this time? Everybody's on stay-at-home orders. So, Andrea, letter C, are you using? Are you connecting? Have you been communicating? Have you been coasting? What have you been doing during your stay-at-home time? Share with us.
Well, I think the first one I would use is coasting a little bit. Certainly trying to adjust to this whole situation has been an ongoing journey, and I think we have adjusted well. And when I say coasting in the fact that I'm still gainfully employed during this time and still have community obligations where everything's gone virtual, serving on boards or, giving back time and talent, and certainly attending church online. So coasting in a positive way through a difficult time. And so the journey is certainly not over, but I think that is a good C word. And then I think I'm moving into the connecting realm now that I've adjusted and I have a little bit of understanding on next steps. I'm moving into the connecting realm a little bit more as well.
Nice. You know what? I think it has been great for people. And I want you to share some of the things that you're involved in. You're very well connected and in the community with all of the things that you do. But I think this has been a good time for people to have an opportunity to kind of pull away from the calendars as normal, and the activity as normal has been really, really pretty good for most everybody that I've been talking to. So
Andrea, I think it's important. I think it's important that you find time in this moment, no matter how you define your moment, you find time in this moment to readjust, reassess. And I've certainly done that, doing more walking, spending more time with family, obviously having more lunch and dinner together, reading more, writing more, just really having some fun, watching movies, doing puzzles. And so however you define that, I think it's important that because we've been given a gift of more time at home, that you do something with that and not lose that. And part of that is dialing back and dialing down. So the replacing that with other things that matter to me or that matter to you most. And so I think that's important, and that's certainly what should be done. And as best you can, during this time, find some time for yourself, stay connected, stay well, stay positive, but do that on your own terms in the moment.
Oh, absolutely. I completely agree with that. I think everybody their priorities have changed. You've been able to take a moment to step back in this way and identify what are my greatest priorities and focusing in on those. And so I think that's great. Andrea, for those who may not know you, which it probably isn't that many people, but what I'd like you to do is just share a little bit about who you are. You are a diversity professional, a community advocate and resource. Share a little bit about your background and kind of your mainstay here in the Kansas City area, but you've got roots in Oklahoma and Kansas, and share Texas. Share a little bit about that. Share a little bit about who you are with those who are listening in.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. So this Southern girl, if you will, was born and partly raised in Texas, and we moved to several other places along my younger journey. But I went to college in Kansas State University, and then after that bachelor's and master's degree work, I moved to Kansas City, Missouri, to start my career, and that was several years ago. But start my career, and the areas of education, human resources, and diversity have been a key components of my background. I am human development psychology, counseling psychology background, educational psychology background are kind of my spaces where I've played in over the years. And so the past 17 or 18 years, I have really focused in on the human resources practice and the diversity and inclusion practice. So I've had reporting lines related to corporate development and training and leadership development, as well as diversity and inclusion for many, many years. Currently work for a global organization, 30 countries plus the US, 29,000 associates, and delivering diversity best practices for that organization has been amazing. And so that is really my background. I would say my community work will always be a key component of who I am. I enjoy giving back my time, my talent, my resources. Currently serve on the YMCA board, just joined the United Way board, and also serve as a board of trustees for the National World War I Museum, are three examples. And then I am a proud member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And so those are some of the areas, not all, that I will share. And then I'm also support and attend my church, Concord Fortress of Hope Church. I always have to give a shout out to Pastor Ronald Lindsay and the work that he does, and giving of my time and talent to the church is important to me as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. I told audience, I told you that this gal is phenomenal. So Andrea, now we have to share with people who may not have received, but you wrote a book. Now I'm gonna let you tell the story, because you tell it a little bit different than I do. I met Andrea years ago, and as she has shared, as you heard her say about the work that she does in the community and in diversity arenas and such, she's been a dynamic leader in that area forever. And so I had asked her a few years ago, Andrea, I really want to write a book. And Andrea, of course, said, oh, people have told me that before. And so I'm going to let you tell the story, because you tell it a little different than I do.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Michelle. I am. So first of all, I am excited that last year, 2019, I actually launched my book, which is here, the bold, the big journey, bold inclusion for greatness. So the big journey, bold inclusion for greatness. And thank you for your team and expertise on that. But I wrote the book for a couple of reasons, but that journey started with me not interested in writing a book. And after 3 times, I think, Michelle, I said, okay, let me consider this. I'm not sure that that's a part of my journey, but I turned Michelle down 2 or 3 times. And on the 3rd or 4th time, her knocking at my door saying, this is important, let's consider it. And so I think the part of it had to be, why is this important and why now? And I think, years ago, maybe I wasn't ready, or I didn't find the passion in that process. And so after I reevaluated, the book is here, and very excited. So the big journey, bold inclusion for greatness, launched last year, and excited that we're 1 year from the date of launching, and glad to be here to share about that. So the book is about my journey and I guess, favorite stories, resources, and people who are on this journey to define diversity for the future, and give a little bit of perspective, but also nuggets to help those who are practitioners in this space, those who are growing in their own awareness or understanding or knowledge. This book can be a part of that foundational enrichment. And so it's my thoughts, my perspective of what I've kind of collected over the years.
Absolutely. Well, it is a wonderful read. And for those of you leaders in diversity space, those who are interested in even getting into diversity careers, Andrea is definitely a tool and a resource, a champion for helping individuals and organizations to do that. So Andrea, how do they get in contact with you? Share your website. And the website is www.drandreahendricks.com. You can reach out to Andrea there.
Thank you for sharing my website. I appreciate that.
No problem at all. Is there anything, Andrea, that you want to say before we close out? Anything you want to share?
Well,
Any teasers coming up?
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, there's a couple of things that I would love to share. Part of that is that the journey continues. And as we know, diversity and inclusion will always be an important element within our community. And so we're looking at a part 2 of the Bold Inclusion for Greatness series. And we're also looking at doing some featured stories, virtual conversations with those who are featured in the book. So part 2 of the Bold Inclusion for Greatness is coming. So stay tuned for that later this year. And then also featured virtual stories or series about great folks doing great work. So thank you for your time, and I appreciate your allowing me to be a part of today's message.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you for joining us. All right, so before we close out, you can check Andrea out at www.drandreahendricks.com. And Andrea, we're looking forward to some of that virtual summit you may be having here soon. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much for spending the top of the day with us, and I look forward to see you soon. Have a good day. Goodbye, all.
Thank you. Bye.